The invitation. In the dim glow of her computer screen, Emma scrolled through Reddit threads, her curiosity piqued by tales of the supernatural. Among the stories of haunted houses and ghostly encounters, one post stood out: a group of friends inviting others to join them for a weekend at a rumored haunted house. The idea both intrigued and unnerved her. She had always been drawn to the mysterious and unexplained, but the thought of spending a weekend in a haunted house sent shivers down her spine. After much deliberation, Emma decided to accept the invitation. The allure of the unknown proved too strong to resist, and she found herself eagerly packing her bags for the weekend getaway. As she prepared to embark on this adventure, Emma couldn't shake the feeling of excitement mixed with apprehension. She knew that this weekend would be unlike any other, and she was determined to uncover the truth behind the rumors of the haunted house. With her bags packed and her heart racing, Emma set off into the unknown, ready to confront whatever secrets lay hidden within the walls of the haunted house. The arrival. The drive to the haunted house was long and winding, the road flanked by dense woods that seemed to swallow the fading daylight. Emma's heart pounded with anticipation as they finally arrived at their destination, the imposing silhouette of the haunted house looming before them. The house stood silent and foreboding, its windows dark and its facade withered with age. As Emma and her friends stepped out of the car, chills swept through the air, ending goosebumps prickling along their skin. They approached the front door cautiously, the sound of their footsteps echoing in the stillness of the night. With a trembling hand, Emma reached out and grasped the doorknob, feeling the cold metal beneath her fingers. As the door creaked open, gusts of wind rushed past them, carrying with it the faint scent of decay. Stepping over the threshold, Emma felt a shiver run down her spine, a sense of unease settling over her like a heavy blanket. Inside, the air was thick with dust, the only sound a faint whisper of the wind in the empty halls. With each step they took, the sense of foreboding grew stronger, as if the house itself were alive and watching their every move. But despite the mounting tension, Emma couldn't shake the feeling that they were being drawn deeper into the heart of darkness, towards a truth that was more terrifying than anything they could have imagined. The ominous discovery. As Emma and her friends explored the dimly lit rooms of the haunted house, a sense of unease settled over them like a heavy fog. They stumbled upon a room that seemed to pulse with strange energy, its walls adorned with faded wallpaper peeling at the edges. In the center of the room, they discovered a dusty old Ouija board, its wooden surface worn with age and its letters barely visible in the dim light. A chill ran down Emma's spine as she gazed upon the board, a sense of foreboding creeping into her heart. Despite her reservations, curiosity got the better of her, and she found herself drawn to the board like a moth to a flame. With trembling hands, Emma and her friends gathered around the Ouija board, their fingers hovering over the planchette in anticipation. As they began to ask questions, the planchette moved of its own accord, gliding across the board with an eerie precision. Emma's heart raced as the board spelled out words that seemed to echo the darkest recesses of her mind, tapping into fears she didn't even know she had. With each passing moment, the atmosphere in the room grew more oppressive, as if unseen eyes were watching their every move. And as they continued their session, Emma couldn't shake the feeling that they had awakened something malevolent, something that had been lurking in the shadows of the haunted house, waiting for its chance to strike. The growing unease in the aftermath of the Ouija board session, palpable tension hung in the air, weighing heavily on Emma and her friends. They ventured deeper into the haunted house, each step echoing through the empty halls with a sense of foreboding. Strange occurrences became more frequent, with doors slamming shut on their own and unexplained shadows darting across the walls. Emma's heart raced with fear as she felt the oppressive atmosphere closing in around her, suffocating her with its malevolent presence. Despite their growing unease, they pressed on, determined to uncover the secrets hidden within the walls of the haunted house. But with each passing moment, the sense of dread only intensified, gnawing at their nerves and filling them with a primal fear. Emma's mind raced with thoughts of escape, but she knew deep down that there was no turning back now. As they explored further, they stumbled upon a room that seemed to pulsate with an otherworldly energy, its walls adorned with cryptic symbols and strange artifacts. Emma's breath caught in her throat as she realized they had stumbled upon something far more sinister than they could have ever imagined. With a sinking feeling in her stomach, she knew that they were over their heads, and that the true horror of the haunted house had only just begun to reveal itself. The malevolent presence. As Emma and her friends delved deeper into the haunted house, the malevolent presence seemed to grow stronger, its influence seeping into every corner of the darkened rooms. They could feel eyes watching them from the shadows, and see whispers echoing through the empty halls, sending shivers down their spines. With each passing moment, the air grew thicker with dread, a heavy weight pressing down on their chests and making it difficult to breathe. Emma's senses were on high alert. Every creak of the floorboards, every flicker of movement, sending her heart racing with fear. They found themselves confronted with increasingly sinister manifestations, a cold gust of wind that seemed to carry the whispers of the dead, eerie apparitions that flickered in and out of existence, and an overwhelming sense of despair that seemed to seep into their very souls. Despite their growing terror, they pressed on, driven by a mixture of curiosity and desperation to uncover the truth behind the haunted house. But with each step they took, the darkness seemed to close in around them, threatening to swallow them whole. Emma could feel the malevolent presence closing in, its icy fingers reaching out to ensnare them in its grasp. And as they continued their journey into the heart of darkness, Emma knew that they were on the brink of a confrontation that would test their courage and resilience like never before. Confrontation with evil, as Emma and her friends braced themselves for the inevitable confrontation. A sense of dread settled over them like a suffocating blanket. They found themselves standing before a door that seemed to radiate darkness, its very presence a tangible force that pushed against them. With trembling hands, Emma reached out to grasp a doorknob, her heart pounding in her chest as she prepared to face whatever lay beyond. As the door creaked open, they were greeted by a sight that sent chills down their spines, a room bathed in an unholy glow, its walls adorned with symbols of ancient power. In the center of the room stood a figure shrouded in darkness, its eyes burning with malevolent fury as it fixed them with a gaze that seemed to pierce their very souls. Emma could feel the hairs on the back of her neck stand on end as the figure spoke, its voice a guttural growl that sent shivers down her spine. With a sinking feeling in her stomach, Emma realized that they had stumbled upon something far more sinister than they could have ever imagined. As the figure advanced towards them, Emma and her friends knew that they were facing a battle for their very lives, a battle against an ancient evil that had been awakened by their foolish curiosity. Their hearts filled with fear, their resolve unbroken, they prepared to confront the darkness head on, knowing that their very survival depended on their ability to stand firm against the forces of evil. The final stand, with their backs against the wall and fear gripping their hearts, Emma and her friends prepared to make their final stand against the ancient evil that threatened to consume them. Their minds raced with thoughts of survival as they searched for a way to defeat the malevolence that loomed before them. But as the darkness closed in around them, Emma knew that they were outmatched, their only hope of survival resting on their courage and determination. With a defiant roar, Emma and her friends launched themselves into battle, their fists flying and voices raised in a desperate attempt to drive back the darkness. But no matter how hard they fought, the evil seemed to grow stronger, its twisted form twisting and contorting as it sought to overwhelm them. With each blow they landed, Emma could feel the malevolent presence pushing back against them, its power threatening to crush them beneath its weight. But Emma refused to give up, drawing on every ounce of strength and courage she possessed to push back against the darkness. As the battle raged on, Emma and her friends found themselves locked in a desperate struggle for survival, their very souls hanging in the balance. But with a final, desperate effort, they managed to drive back the darkness, banishing the malevolent entity from the haunted house once and for all. With the threat vanquished, and their ordeal finally at an end, Emma and her friends emerged from the darkness victorious, their hearts filled with relief and gratitude for their miraculous escape.